Okay, so I'd officially like to call to order the special EHA board meeting, January 19th, 2024. I'd like to start with roll call. Commissioner Perez is absent. Commissioner Trainer,
Present.
Commissioner Andrews, coming. Commissioner Manzel, I can't hear anything. I don't know if it's just me.
I'm sorry, I muted it.
Okay, he said here. And then Commissioner Burgess.
Here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, for today, the board will now discuss the 2024 meeting schedule. Chris, could you kind of share what you were going to share?
Sure, I certainly can. The bylaws as they currently exist call for regular meetings on the fourth Monday of February, March, May, June, and August, and a special meeting on the second, or not as, I'm sorry, in the annual meeting on the second Monday of November.
Okay. And today we just wanted to talk about a potential action to revise the, well, I guess it's resolution number 1586 on the regular meeting schedule to provide more frequent meetings. And I think you were going to share the screen and kind of, but you read it. I don't know if you still want to share it.
Actually, I didn't want to share the agenda. Let me stop sharing the agenda and let me share the actual resolution. And that would be this one. Well, why is it showing the agenda when I tell it to share the resolution?
Because it's just being difficult.
Okay, so. I don't quite understand why it's doing that.
While you're waiting, I guess I could give a little bit of commentary on this one, and then hopefully board members or comments just for open discussion. Part of what we noticed when the board was dealing with the current circumstances, we weren't meeting regularly enough to maybe fully understand some of the decisions that we had to make, understand the agency nuances that have come to light that we've had to rush to understand. So the thought is, if we met more frequently, there's a sharing of knowledge that would happen that we would never be in that position again. So we could get regular updates, kind of understand when, say, Wendy talks about changes or Jason talks about projects, we kind of understand a little bit better of what's going on. So I kind of open it up right now. Chris, did you have any commentary on this at all?
Did you say Chris or Chet?
Chris, because
I'm sorry, Chair Smith. I was just letting the Vice Chair Andrews into the meeting. She should be joining us. And so what was the question?
did you have any commentary once you pulled up the resolution?
I don't know that I do. I think
Okay.
probably Attorney Steve DiGiulio would be the person to better speak to this.
And Chair Smith, you'll see that I've shared the screen with you with the draft resolution
Okay.
for consideration. I think you should all be able to see that. For those of you who are looking at the
Yes.
screen, I'll just go through it very quickly.
Okay.
Sections 3, 4, 5, and the conclusion are standard forms of the Everett Housing Authority, as is the introduction. This is a draft resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Housing Authority of the City of Everett relating to open public meetings, revising the 2024 regular meeting schedule to provide for more regular meetings of the board. Chris would have to assign a resolution number to this at some point. The main part of the resolution has 3 recitals that the Housing Authority law and the Open Public Meetings Act allows to meet as necessary to carry out the business of the authority. The authority bylaws at Article 3, Section 2 allow for amendment of the regular meeting schedule by resolution, and a board finding that it must meet more regularly, and by this resolution establishes a schedule for additional regular meetings. In addition to the already scheduled meetings, the resolution would provide for regular meetings on blank and blank of each month. I plugged in the first and third Thursday of each month, and that's really where the discussion should be as to how frequently the board wishes to meet. The other point is I set the meeting time at 8 o'clock because the board has had a tendency to meet at that time. But the other advantage of meeting at 8 o'clock is that if you choose to delay the meeting, you can do so on the same day without procedural difficulties. Whereas if you schedule it later in the day and want to move it up to an earlier time, then it becomes problematic and it creates this potential special meeting issue. So that's the background, and you'll see that in section 2 here. And so I'll leave it to the board to decide when and how often it chooses to meet.
So, board members, any commentary, questions, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this is a wise move and a well thought out plan. I think that we should discuss more on when we should meet, whether it is the first and the third, or second and the fourth, or some months it might be once a month or once every 3 weeks, something like that. But for us to better understand the processes and the intricacies of the housing authority, really appreciative that this has been brought to our attention and brought up for vote.
Anybody else on the board that has comments?
Yeah, I was wondering if we could make, I don't know if we want to designate like one of those meetings for like being a learning session, and have some scheduled, training or topics that we need to cover and learn more about. I don't know. That's all.
So I hear it. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to say, Chair Smith, in answer to Commissioner Andrews' questions, there is among local governments a common practice of having what are known as study sessions on off day or off week meetings. What we find, however, is that it is just as easy to have an agenda for one of those regular meetings to be a study session or a learning session. For example, for the Housing Authority, in light of where it is now, you could have schedule one meeting to be a briefing from staff on current projects and developments, whereas the board would more likely than not take action at a different meeting. But at least at this stage of the board's activities, I think maintaining flexibility and not limiting the meetings initially, recognizing that the board can always set the agenda and decide what it wants to do at any given time with respect to a meeting. And that's the purpose of building in the flexibility that this resolution intends to provide.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Anything else from the board on questions on this, concerns?
I don't have anything from the board, of course, but I did want to point out that the standard meeting time is noon, not 8 AM. So I'm not sure, if, the board is agreeable to keep that standard meeting time and we change that in the resolution, or is 8 AM, what you want?
Yeah,
Kristen,
we will.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I would recommend that we kind of play that one by ear. Usually the mornings don't work for me. They may not work for others as well. But we could always amend that.
I always thought the 12 noon was an ideal hour.
Cynthia, any comments on noon for you?
Oh, I'll have to figure it out, but as long as we have a regular schedule, I can schedule my noon times, except for on Tuesdays. Yeah.
So I guess and the frequency we probably should talk about, like Steve had, 2 dates there. What are your thoughts, board members?
Chair Smith,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any thoughts on this. I mean, obviously, it's all scheduled permitting for professional lives outside of being commissioners, but I'll try to make every single one of these if I can.
Okay. So, I'd like to say that Thursday doesn't work for me. Usually, Mondays work excellent for me. I don't know. And Tuesdays are hard for Cynthia. Any problems with the time of the month? Like, like some people might have every month. Like in banking, the end of the month is rough.
I mean, without knowing what my future schedules look like, outside of the month of February, it's really hard for me to commit at this time.
Okay.
However, I think if we set a schedule for the first and third, let's just say Monday of each month, let's say beginning February 1st, or March 1st, or wherever we want it, we're able then to plan ahead and we're able to make changes as needed. Right.
Okay. Okay. That sounds reasonable to me. Anybody else object?
Good plan.
Okay. Steve's typing away.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. All right, should we
Can
look
we
at
accept the
motion?
resolution?
Okay, so I am now plugging in the phrasing, and am I correct in understanding it'll be the first and third Monday of each month?
Yes, but if that were to change, like if we would not have a quorum on one of those Mondays, how easy is it for us to change that to a Wednesday or a Thursday?
So there are 2 ways to do that. One is to commence the meeting and continue it to a date certain with posting of the continued time and place under the Open Public Meetings Act. The second would be to schedule a special meeting. which of course would defeat the purpose of having a general meeting,
Mhm.
Yeah.
regular meeting. But there are two ways to accomplish that. And of course, the board by resolution can revise this schedule at any time it chooses. That by acting in the course of a meeting, you can modify this.
Okay,
So right now, the resolution says regular meetings are the first Monday and third Monday of each month. And I'm going to look at my calendar very quickly. See when February 1st is.
isn't it a Friday?
February 1st is a Thursday. So this would first meeting commencing February 5th.
February 5th.
Mhm.
So the resolution now reads, in addition to the previously scheduled meetings, the board hereby schedules regular meetings on the first Monday and third Monday of each month, commencing February 5th, 2024. All regular meetings of the board, except for the November meeting, may be canceled by the board chair or a majority of the board in the absence of business. All meetings shall commence at noon unless a later time on the same date is announced in advance. Agendas shall be posted as required by the Open Public Meetings Act and may be revised at a regular meeting under RCW 4230-077 sub 1. Schedule set forth herein shall continue into 2025 absent further resolution of the board. And Chris, do we have a resolution number?
1586.
Okay.
So
And
I'm gonna, can
you
I,
now should be looking at a screen with the revised form of resolution for your consideration.
okay. So board members, are you sure we, like, is this too much? And I want to be real about it. Because it's the normal meetings and this, like, do you guys want to just do once a month? And then add a special, I'm asking that because I know we all have careers.
I like that. I like the idea of meeting more. However, what you just said, I mean, there's only 2 months between now and November where we do not have meetings.
Yeah.
So if we were to add an extra meeting every month, I think that would benefit us no matter what. And I think it would accomplish what we're setting out to do.
Anyone else from the board?
I agree with Commissioner Burgess because I think we've been in the dark for some time and need to be educated and brought up to speed and be engaged more in what is happening at the housing authority. So I think it's a great idea.
So Steve, that would put us at, say, the first Monday of every month instead of adding 2. Because I don't want us to overcommit to something that we cannot make. You know what I mean?
Or
So-
at least having that set. And if we need to change that, we're able to.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I just want to make, I want to be clear on this. So what you're saying is you only want to add a meeting on the first Monday of each month.
Correct.
And that's the way the resolution states now.
Mhm.
Okay, in that case, a motion may be in order to adopt resolution number 1586.
I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number 1586.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any Against? Okay, accept the motion.
Chris, I'll
Thank
send you this revised form, and then you can print it out for the chair's signature when you have time.
I will. We have them sign electronically, so Chair Smith, I'll send that out on Monday.
Perfect, thank you. All right, at this time, the board will now convene into executive session to discuss potential litigation, evaluate complaints or charges brought against a public officer or employee, and review the performance of a public employee. Let's see, it's 3:21 right now. So should we do a shorter session so we can always extend it? Say we go for 40 minutes. And so
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we can do it in 40 minutes.
That would be great. Chair Smith?
Yes.
I am just around the corner from my house. And so I'd like to switch to my laptop as soon as I get inside. I'm pulling my driveway right now.
Okay.
And so Chris may have to let me back in.
Okay. Okay.
I just-
Do
if
you
you
want to
could
take a break for 5 minutes?
Yeah,
That would be fabulous.
let's
And 40 minutes may be too long. I would suspect 30 minutes, then we can extend if necessary.
okay.
Okay,
So
and
the executive session would commence at, why don't we say 3:28
Okay.
and extend as at least currently to 3:58.
Okay. You got that, Chris?
I do, and I'm gonna stop recording now.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, so I guess we need to show that we came back at 3:58, correct? And then, so I'm gonna read the little blurb on my cheat sheet. It's, the board will now discuss the housing authority or organization and personnel issue and take potential action on said issues via a motion. So the motion would be to authorize the board chair acting for the board to engage on behalf of and to assist the housing authority, such as human resource consultants or firms, as needed to investigate allegations of discriminatory or harassing conduct and to investigate potential abuse of leave benefits. Any discussion?
Need a call for a motion in a second.
Yeah. So do I have a motion?
I will make the motion.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Right? Any against? Okay, I guess it looks like the motion passes. And with that, I think we have all our well, I guess I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any against? Nope. Okay, I guess we consider ourselves adjourned.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Chair.
everyone's time. Appreciate
you,
it.
Thank you,
Steve.
Chair. Thank you.